Hey, Brain and Body Solutions family, it's Dr. Stephanie Remka coming to you to talk about something that you guys need to know about. So basically, it's the number one thing that is destroying waistlines, body fat, as well as cognitive function, keeping you slow, keeping you foggy, keeping you moody, keeping you depressed. You got one thing that's going on that most of you don't know about, and you are undermining a lot of your health strategies by not being concerted in this. So what's the one thing you guys don't know about that is controlling how fat you are and how fast mentally you are? It's this beautiful gland right here. It's called your thyroid gland. I have it open right now for a reason, okay? So there's a gland right here, looks like a butterfly. It's called your thyroid, and it is what we call a master gland in your hormone system of your body. It makes hormones, and believe it or not, this one thing, I can control and manipulate this on somebody where I could basically make you a skinny genius or a fat idiot. Okay, now being overweight doesn't make you cognitively slow, absolutely not, and being skinny doesn't make you smart. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this gland, I could inject people with hormones, inject them with things, make things happen where we can make somebody have such amazing cognitive performance because we're controlling how they can think from here, or I can make it shut down so much that you can take a genius and make them unable to do basic math equations, okay? And you will eventually gain weight or lose a lot of weight depending on how you manipulate this. So this is controlling your metabolism. It is controlling your cognitive thinking skills in your brain. It's also controlling a lot of mood expression in your brain from this hormone. A lot of you don't know that. So I have a lot of patients who come into me who are diagnosed with attention deficit or other learning disorders. I have a lot of patients that are diagnosed with anxiety and depression. I have a lot of people that are diagnosed with, that are dealing with weight or obesity issues, and now they've gotten diabetes or something, and they're looking for an answer, and they're looking for help. A large percentage of those people don't have those diagnoses at all, and they're simply thyroid disorders that were not diagnosed and are not being treated right. So the number one thing destroying your waistline and your cognitive performance, because they do go hand in hand often, that you don't know about is your thyroid gland. I'm going to give you 3 quick things that you are doing to destroy your thyroid function that you may not know. Number 1 comes down to diet, okay? The number 1, and I'm going to give you 3 tips about what your thyroid doesn't like or does like. Number 1, soy. You have to stop eating soy or you will guarantee you're going to destroy your thyroid gland. You need to be aware that soy is not just tofu. It is a lot of anything when you see hydrolyzed vegetable protein, any fake protein that's not from an animal is almost likely always going to have soy in it or be soy based. Soy lecithin now is a binder that's put in everything. It used to be sunflower lecithin and some other types of lecithin, and because of the industry and how cheap it is, they're using soy. So every boxed, canned, pre-made, TV frozen dinner, whatever, has soy in it. Every restaurant almost is using soybean oil to cook in. They'll call it vegetable oil. That would be soybean oil. Okay, unless they're going out of their way to tell you it's something else. Not that canola oil is good for you, but it would be a better choice in a restaurant than soybean. So all of you eating fast food, fries, and all that, you are constantly consuming soybean oil. You are constantly killing your thyroid gland. You are constantly lowering your metabolism is controlled here. Your temperature regulation is controlled here. Your cognitive function is controlled here. Every time you eat those foods, you are killing this. That's just a fact. The other thing within the diet is low iodine. A lot of us don't have iodine in our diet. I don't know who did that. Yeah, iodine. So iodine comes from really good salts, such as Himalayan salt, Celtic salt, sea salt. They do iodine, just cheap old table salt. There's a lot of negatives with table salt, so I don't love it. But I mean, salt is your friend, and believing the nonsense that it's not is a problem. So iodine's found in a lot of sea stuff, sea vegetables and sea food. So eat salmon and other things that are eating iodine, you'll be fine. Another thing that destroys this is eating a low-fat diet, okay? So it's part of why we have so many chronic thyroid issues at this point, because the low-fat trend of 20, 30 years ago was huge. The vegetarian trend was huge. Soy came onto the market in the 80s or so, and it just has taken over. It's become ubiquitous in the diet, even when you're trying to avoid it. So things that used to be made with lard then became made with soybean oil. So there was just this change in all your products, and you started killing this in a really rapid rate. So now we're riddled with thyroid disorders. Notice I keep saying anxiety, because thyroid disorders cause anxiety and depression, okay? Other number 2 things, so the diet, you need to avoid soy, number 1. You need to make sure you're getting some iodine, number 2. You need to never eat low fat, number 3, okay? Blue light. So as I sit here, I'm doing this on purpose, and I'm gonna stop it now. So phones and lights and all this stuff, screens are giving off, every computer, iPad, whatever that you're using, Kindles are emitting obscene amounts of only blue light. Color has a big spectrum, you guys, right? Remember Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Then we have ultraviolet, we have infrared. We start with red, and then we have infrared. We end with violet, and we have ultraviolet. There's also X-rays, gamma rays, and all the kinds of things on the ends of these spectrums, okay? So light from the sun has all of it. The light from your lamps and bulbs and screens, and also it has little bitty pieces, okay? That's why we're starting to use light therapies so much, because we're like, everyone's being bombarded with this and missing the full spectrum. So now we have to come in with therapies that are taking this part and healing. So number 1 thing you can do when you are holding a phone, when you're doing this, when you're falling asleep in your bed at night watching Netflix, which is the worst thing you can do for your brain, for your metabolism, for your sleep, for your mental health. But unless you stop doing it, at least do this. At least, because it's penetrating all the way through, and it's devastating your thyroid gland, okay? So I want you to put the screens down. I want you to not use them at all, especially before you go to bed, but at least be covering up every time that you can possibly think about it. And just, it makes a huge difference, you guys. The other thing would be to get sunlight. Get sunlight more, let the sun, I just told you, spectrum. That'll help heal it as well. That's the way you're destroying it, though, that you're lacking sunlight and you are destroying it with blue light, so cover it up. The other thing that you're doing to destroy your thyroid is you are destroying your adrenal glands. So there's that gland here, and then you have these 2 adrenal glands that sit on top of your kidneys, and they are the stress response hormones. So this is like a thermostat, metabolism regulator, master controller, and a little bit of like the gas of the body, and the adrenal glands are back there ready to put the brakes on things. They're ready to shoot up real fast energy, give like this 90-second fight or flight response. That should be what they do. It's a 90-second cortisol rule. They shoot out cortisol. It only lasts 90 seconds. You're supposed to like be stressed for 90 seconds, but most of you are stressed for 9 to 10 hours. And so the word adrenal fatigue is really hot in functional medicine. So by draining the adrenal glands and not supporting it, by you having really poor stress management skills, you are destroying your thyroid, you are destroying your metabolism, your metabolic regulator, your cognitive driver, okay? So you need stress management skills. Some of the best ways to get that stress management is sleep hygiene, and I just kind of went over that. Stop looking at blue lights before you go to bed. Go to bed at an early time. Add blue light, the glasses that you guys see me in all the time. Start meditating. You guys, the adrenal glands cannot take what you're doing. You need to start meditating and managing stress. You might need to go to a therapist to learn how to do this. You might need a CBT therapist or a DBT therapist, or to join a mindfulness group to start being taught, how do I learn to find the signals of stress in my body and change something immediately to take that down? Because what you're doing is pushing the adrenal glands so hard that they're driving. Eventually your thyroid says, I'm going to stop. You know, they're in this balance together. Those two work together. They work together. So you're killing your thyroid gland by not managing stress on your adrenals. Okay. The adrenal glands also love diet and supplements. The thyroid loves supplements. There's a lot of horrible supplements. I've tried many over the years for all of them. I've tried all the hacks. There's a lot of things. If you Google how to help your thyroid, there's so much misinformation and nonsense. I can't even believe it. So I just did that just to kind of see what you guys are being told, and it's really bad. Okay, I'm telling you, like L-tyrosine isn't going to do that much. It's just not. You know, you cannot keep eating soy and take an L-tyrosine and think it's going to do anything for you. Okay, so there's your three things that you don't know. Number one thing that's destroying your metabolism, your ability to stay at the weight you want easily with not a lot of work, you guys. It shouldn't be that damn hard to be thin. It's not. You're designed to be thin. You're designed to have brain power. You're designed to figure things out. We have a prefrontal cortex that nobody else on this planet has ever seen. Shouldn't be like, oh my God, I can't think. I'm so foggy, you know. Oh my God, I don't know. And how do I figure that out? Are you shitting me? We built planes and rocket ships, and it's ridiculous, right? So this should be working pretty much all the time, all right? So we're going to cover our thyroids from the blue light. You're going to get some sunlight. You are going to never eat soy again. You're going to never eat low fat again. You're going to find some sources of healthy iodine to get into your diet. These are some basic tips, you guys. You're going to work on your stress management to start working at your adrenal glands. You need to understand that they're connected. So if that was helpful at all, at least you guys, at least you know what is controlling it. What part of my body is determining my overall metabolism, my weight, it's not rocket science. You guys, everybody's making all this too hard. You don't need a special diet. You just need to make sure this is okay. So if this was helpful, say an emoji, or that you want me to, I'll send you a little bit more, like a longer video and more comprehensive thyroid support. So if you're dealing with hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, whatever, let me send you some of that. So let's just keep it short, all right? Because it's Saturday morning, and I have a call, actually, I gotta get on, I gotta do something, okay? But I'm gonna start coming on here, I think, you guys, a little bit more every day. So with picking something, I'm probably gonna go with like hormones for a while, but just it's tough. I just had a whole bunch of messages sent to me from somebody who's dealing with depression, blah, blah, and this and that, and I'm like, if it's really all coming from her thyroid and adrenal axis, she's not mentally ill, you guys. So again, when I said that ADHD comes in and depression, is women in particular are being prescribed the wrong medications and diagnosed with the wrong thing. If you have a thyroid disorder, you're going to be anxious and depressed. And if your labs say, oh, but it's not that, I don't know for sure. So you got to be careful with that. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. If you want more on how to support your thyroid gland, I will send it to you, but you have to tell me and I'll send you a message. All right, bye.